Welcome to episode 2 of The Cycle. I'm Brandon Bordeau of Baby Blue Memories. Of course, us and Iorì was teaming up here to bring you all your local action highlights every 2 weeks. A very busy summer. Let's dive right into it, shall we? Taking a look at the first game I was able to witness this last couple of weeks. U9 Girls Purple taking on U9 Girls Red. That's right, two Kahnawake teams going toe-to-toe in the squared circle that is Maddie's Park. And the red team, starving for their first victory of the season, actually took the lead going into the final inning of this game. That's right, it was all up to the purple team to come back, and the pink team, led by Coach Tiffany Mayo, trying to cling on to a 1-point lead over Ganyeta Gerdu's purple girls team. But in the end, the purples scored 3 in the last inning, and they come out on top for the victory. Ganyeta Gerdu's Gilbert's team now 5 wins, 3 losses on the team season, tied for third place in the league standings. Mayo's Pink Hawks team, or the red team, but we'll call them pink. They're wearing pink jerseys. Still searching for that first victory of the season. But I will say that having watched these two teams play head-to-head in the beginning of the season, they have really gotten better. And there's definitely a lot of signs for improvement. This isn't the last time we'll be talking about either of these two teams. As we'll take a look at the lineup, they are going to be playing later on this weekend. So we'll get you all caught up in that action. How about the U11 girls? Now, for the first time in 28 days, that's right, the U11 girls had not played a single game of baseball for over or nearly a month. They came out and shook off that rust immediately, pounding the Candiac Fuchsia Cubs by a score of 10-1 in Candiac. The second game, however, was more of a battle. And this time it was the Cubs who came out on top by a final score of 7-6, handing Kylene Stand-Up's girls their first loss of the season. 7-6, the final score there. So those girls are 3-1. They're going to have a lot of games coming up over the next few weeks, including that doubleheader coming up this Saturday at Maddie's Park. That's what you will see in the girls' league this season, is that the unavailability of fields have made it important to have each of their weekend games played basically as a doubleheader. U16 girls playing a doubleheader this weekend, U11 girls playing a doubleheader this weekend. One of the U9 teams' opponents, the Fuchsia Cubs, playing a doubleheader against both Kahnawake teams. So the pink team will play them, and then the purple team will play them as well. Let's take a look at the U11Bs. How about this? They are 5-2 this season, a team that's still relatively young in terms of baseball experience, winning on Monday, July 12th by a score of 8-4 over the St. Laurent Blue Crush. And the Friday before that, a thriller 7-6 at home against the Pierrefonds Red Sox. This team, 5 wins, 2 losses on the season. We'll take a look at where they play this weekend as well, because they will be in action 2 times this upcoming weekend. Moving on to the U11As, a tough 12-9 loss to Surwa, followed by a 13-5 loss to the Valleyfield Reds. The Reds are 7-1. That is the Warhawks' second loss of the season against Valleyfield. So a tough way for them to begin their campaign, or at least continue on in their campaign here. But they are in action this upcoming Thursday, which is the 15th. They are going to be at home against the Surwa Voltigeurs Rouge. So they beat this team earlier in the season by a score of 12-9. They'll go at it again for a second time. Justin Horn's team hoping to get back in the win column. They're currently 3 wins and 5 losses. Looking at the U13 team, how about this? Up 7-6 in the final inning on the road against St. Laurent. The Crush had a runner on third with 1 out, and a ball was caught in shallow left field. And the Crush sent the runner home, and the throw was on time, nailing the runner at home plate and sending the Warhawks to a win to get back over 500 at 3-2-2. Now, unfortunately, since then, the Warhawks have lost a couple of tight games against very stiff competition, losing to the first place West Island Red Sox 12-3 last Friday at the Hospital Ball Field, and then falling 15-11 at home against the DDO Blue Jays this past Monday. They will be in action this Wednesday. So July 14th, they're in action on the road against the Lachine A's, a winnable game for the Warhawks as Lachine has had their struggles this season. Kahnawake trying to get back in the win column and trying to get to 4 wins, 4 losses, and 2 ties. Obviously, the record right now, 3-4-2. U16 or U15 Bees, a tough loss this past Friday. They were up 8-6 going into the open inning against the Presqu'Île Grays, but Presqu'Île scoring 3 in that final inning, and they get their first win of the season over the U16 Warhawks, who suffered their first loss of the 2021 campaign in that game. Prior to that, they had a pair of victories over, at least on paper, superior Presqu'Île Red team, superior to the Presqu'Île Gray team. They won 12-11 at home over Presqu'Île Red and then won in Île-Perrot by a score of 12-8 last week. So that team, the Warhawks B U16s or U15s, 5 wins and 1 loss. And the first place team in the U18 B League is our very own Kahnawake Warhawks, now on a 4-game winning streak, winning by a score of 12-7 at Pierre Fall. They won July 3rd, so that was last week, 5-4 over Surwa, and then a 16-3 win over Saint Laurent, 9-6. They defeated the Surwa Red Sox, and that game played last week, the 5-4 win at home last Saturday, was actually over the Lachine Athletics. So a lot of action to catch you up in terms of what has gone on over the last couple of weeks. What's coming up this weekend? Well, we'll start on Friday. U11Bs at home against Lakeshore Blue. That's a 6:30 p.m. start at Maddie's Park. The U9 Purple Girls team will be on the road at that same time, 6:30 against Candiac Fuchsia. Saturday, U11Bs in action on the road, so they got a back-to-back this weekend. 10 a.m. start against the DDO Dodgers. U15Bs will be at home against Soulange at 10 a.m. as well. At 1 p.m., we have the U18s at home against DDO Royals. On the road, U9 Purple Girls at Mercier. That's a 10 a.m. start. U9 Red Girls on the road against Candiac Fuchsia at 1. So there we go with that Candiac Fuchsia doubleheader. They got the U9 Girl Warhawks Purple team at 10. They got the U9 Girl Red team at 1 p.m. So Kahnawake invading Candiac with those 2 girls games there. Also on Saturday, the U11 Girl Warhawks will play host to St. Lambert Angels for a doubleheader, 10:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. over at Maddie's Park. Hopefully no weather delays needed and no time to waste here because, as we mentioned, the girl team had to go a whole month. A whole month! How do you go a whole month in the middle of June without playing a baseball game? But they are scheduled for a double dip this upcoming Saturday, 10:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. against the St. Lambert Angels. And then on Sunday, more action coming up for you as the U9 Girls Red team will visit St. Lambert. And then a doubleheader for our U16 Girls team. They will be in action at home at 10:30 and 1:30 p.m. So that's at the Sports Complex ball field, taking on the Laval Purple Tornado. The Girl Hawks 3-1 on the campaign, but remember with the doubleheaders, things can be night and day. The U11 Girl Hawks going from a 10-1 road win against Candiac Fuchsia to a 7-6 road loss against that very same team. You have to bring it and you have to have some energy because you'll be playing baseball for basically 4 out of 5 hours. And then the older teams will be in action later on in the evening on Sunday. The U18s visiting the Surwa Patriots. That's a 7 p.m. start in Beauharnois. And the U16 team in action at Soulange 2. 7 p.m. The U16s won the earlier head-to-head meeting between these two teams by a score of 11-1. That game was called due to mercy rule. All right, that is it for the lineup in the first 6 inning here. Coming up, 7th inning stretch, Greg Horn and I will look at Kerry Terrance, an OHL draft pick of the Iorì Otters from Akwesasne, who was named to the U17 squad for Team USA in a 5-team tournament that will be getting underway in the next couple of weeks. And Jillian Weir, whose mom hails from Tyendinaga Mohawk territory, will be participating in the Tokyo 2020 games in the women's hammer throw. I'm Brandon Bordeau, and right now you are listening to The Cycle between Baby Blue Memories and Iorì wase. And we're back on the cycle. Brandon Bordeau alongside Greg Horn, Baby Blue Memories and Iorì wase combining to bring you the best in local sports. And now it's time for a good seventh inning stretch. So get those arms ready and stretch that mind because, ladies and gentlemen, we have two big stories to get to you involving a couple of Indigenous people, specifically Kanien'kehá:ka individuals. So we'll look at that first starting with Jillian Weir, whose mom hails from Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. Greg, she'll be participating in the Tokyo 2020 Games in the women's hammer throw, one of 57 athletes named to Canada's track and field team. Wow, what a story this is. She, of course, is going to be participating in that in a couple of weeks' time. Just so monumental for all of us, I believe, to have this. And I can't remember any situation where we had somebody at the game since 2000. I'm a little too young for Alwyn when he was at the Olympic Games in, I believe, 84.
Yeah,
Los Angeles.
84 and 88.
84 and 88.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is monumental news, having Jillian Weir being named to the Team Canada for the women's hammer throw. Anytime that we get one of our athletes, whether they're from here or from Aguasasne or from Tyendinaga or anywhere else that has the chance to play at their sport at the top levels, internationally is amazing. And, and it shows that the hard work and the perseverance that these athletes have gone through throughout their whole lives is something that's going to pay off, right?
Definitely.
So, and I mean, we're excited, it gives us a little more to watch, when the Olympics start in 2 weeks or thereabouts, whenever. And I think, I'm not sure exactly when her event starts, but it's going to be, give everybody a little extra reason to watch these games.
Yeah, and that's going to be the key thing, too, because that's the only way anybody will be able to watch these games is going to be through the television. We're going to have the best view in the house because, unfortunately, the cases have spiked out in Japan and there's going to be no fans. But that being said, even with that in maybe the back of these athletes' minds, this is still huge. It's still the Olympics.
Yeah, for real. I mean, this is the Olympics. It's a year late, but it's because of the pandemic. And, these athletes have been training hard and working to get here, and it's going to be something phenomenal to see. And she's not the only connection to the Mohawk Nation and to Kahnawake that's going to be in the Olympics this year either.
Yeah, that's true.
In this week's issue of Iorì wase, we have Jordan Standup interviewed Mark Nipper Granger, who is joining Team Canada as a canoe coach.
Yeah,
for the women's team. So, that's something that that's really nice to hear. And this will be Nipper's 5th time coaching at the Olympics, and it's just something special, right?
Yeah, truly. And you have to understand too, the Olympics are every 4 years, or in this case 5.
Yeah.
Like it becomes that much more important. That's why we take the field lacrosse and box lacrosse, the world indoor and outdoor championships, so big because they only come around every 4 years.
Yeah, and it's the only time you get to see. Well, in lacrosse, it's the only time you ever get to see all the best teams in the world playing against each other. In other sports you have world championships and other international competitions, but this is there's nothing like the Olympic stage.
Well, if we talk to Nipper or if we talk to Weir and we said you have the chance to win a gold medal in a world championship or a gold medal at the Olympics, which answer do you think they're giving?
Oh, I think everybody's gonna say the Olympics.
Yeah, definitely. It is that big. And good luck to Jillian Weir, who's, of course, maternal side from Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. 2020 Tokyo Games, still having a hard time getting used to that, actually.
Yeah.
Here in 2021, she'll be participating in the women's hammer throw. And here's the useless fact of the day that I feel we have to touch on because it's really funny if you think about it. I worked at Kuujjuaq back in 2014. I was working as a camp coordinator. And our actual camp was across the water, across the strait. And the only way we can get there would be when the tide was high. And in the room which I was assigned stood a poster of Alwyn Morris.
Nice.
30 years after he first participated in the Olympic Games. I was like, wow, are you serious?
So did you have it in you to dream?
I did not, but I did wake up at 2:30 in the morning wondering why the sun was still out and if I had missed my alarm. All right. And next up, we have Carrie Terrence. from Akwesasne, who was selected in the first round of the OHL priority draft by the Iorì Otters. He was named to the U17 squad for Team USA in a 5-team tournament. Team USA will be participating with the Swiss, who is the host. Tournament's taking place in Visp, by the way. The Czech Republic, Team USA, obviously, Germany, and Slovakia in a round-robin formatted bracket. The U.S. selects 5-time national champions or 5-time champions of this tournament, most recently taking place in 2017. So Terrance was taken 10th overall in the draft, in the OHL draft. So a top 10 pick. Imagine the OHL priority draft. This kid has a chance to be something special. We talked about Connor Roulette really briefly. Of course, he is a Cree who is touted as a top 2-round draft choice, or predicted to be one in the next couple of days. Of course, that's going to be taking place next week. He, of course, is Cree, but this one here, Terrance, a name we've known and we've heard. We've had a Terrance playing for the Hunters a couple of years ago. And Carey Terrance, selected by the Iorì Otters and now playing U17 hockey for Team USA. Greg, you were there when Travis Zachary was playing for, I believe, was it Rimouski?
Travis Zachary played for Granby, then Granby moved to Cape Breton. So he played for the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles, and then a bunch of people from Kahnawake went to Quebec City to watch Travis Zachary play against the other Kahnawake Ardon, who was playing the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, Hunter Lahache, who was playing for the Quebec Ramparts. And en route to that game, the two got traded for each other. So it was something that we were everybody was excited for, and then still got to see both of them play, but it was they were wearing the different jerseys.
Yeah, I'd imagine in 2000, 2001, the QMJHL shop wasn't exactly fast enough to ship you guys jerseys within the time you got to Quebec.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a really interesting story. Now, Terrance slotted to play on the third line left winger. Obviously, we know those lines will change and interchange throughout, but it looks like he is going to be a regular contributor to this team. And when you think about the number in just sheer terms of NHL players who are playing right now, Team USA, arguably the second strongest team in the world. They have the second most players playing at the best league in the world. And he is going to be a regular contributor to a team that's got to be considered the favorite in this 5-team tournament alongside the host Swiss, the Germans, the Czechs, and the Slovaks. And this is just unbelievable. This is monumental to see. Obviously, we have Brandon Bordeau, right, from Six Nations, who's in the NHL, and now potentially somewhere down the road, a second Kanien'kehá:ka will be joining them.
Yeah, for real. And it's been quite a few years since we've had any Kanien'kehá:ka people within the NHL. Before Brandon, I think the last Kanien'kehá:ka NHLer was Norm Maracle for.
Played for the Jets.
Probably
the old Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, he also played for the Atlanta Thrashers and a couple other teams.
The former Winnipeg Jets.
yeah, the former. So yeah, he was played for the Atlanta Thrashers and a couple other teams throughout his career. He was a goaltender, and then before that, the last time there was a Mohawk playing might have been good old Bobby Simpson.
Schmo. Yeah, that's going back a little while.
Who also played for Atlanta.
Yeah, but he played for the Flames, right?
Yes, yeah.
Funny, I was just watching a story on how Atlanta bombed out of the NHL a couple of times. But Carey Terrance, yeah, good luck to you and good luck to Team USA, who are going to be playing in that U17 squad. Again, 5-team round-robin tournament. They'll be playing alongside the Germans, the Swiss, the Czechs, and the Slovaks. And that, my friends, is your 7th inning stretch. Hope you didn't pull a groin, and thank you very much for joining us here on episode 2 of The Cycle. Greg, I hope you're having a blast with these. I know I am, and I can't wait for a couple of weeks' time when we film our 3rd episode.
Okay, great. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, take care of yourselves, and to all of you listening, Onigi Wahi.
Iorì would like to thank the Community Media Strategic Support Fund for supporting this initiative.